Leave you laid out on the floor, try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Hey, what you got to say there, champ? Yeah, man. What's up, Black? Hey, Deontay, what you got to say? What you got to say? To this day! To this day! To this day! Believe it! Can I get some love? Deontay, World Combat Sports. Hey, World Combat Sports.
Across the spectrum and around the globe, we bring you World Combat Sports.
World Combat Sports, yeah. World Combat Sports, yeah. World Combat Sports, World Combat Sports, yeah. World Combat Sports, yeah. World Combat Sports, yeah. World Combat Sports, yeah. World Combat Sports, yeah.
Boy, look at here. Had to go back down memory lane for a minute. You know what I'm saying? First off, shout out to the hottest chat in the MFing game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know. I'm back with another one. Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, the OG in the building. What it do, Bruce? What's good with you? Y'all definitely go check out Bruce. He the guy named plug to the past life and current of boxing, man. Real astute OG in the sport of the hurt business. You feel me? Definitely check him out. Bud Smoke Canelo on deck. What's good, man? How you feeling? May all is well with both of y'all, and everyone is inbound to talk this boxing. Of course, there's a somewhat of a timeout period that's going on in boxing. You know, it's at the end of the year and everything. I know we have the Anthony Joshua, whoever he fighting, coming up, but you know, first of all, before I get into the core of the topics, I want to just talk about some miscellaneous, right? I started to do the live stream on the hottest divisions because that's really going to play a role. There's been some shuffling going on with the deck of cards when it comes to fighters in certain weight divisions, right? So you have to ask yourself, which division is going to have some potential fire matchups that include a championship, or it include, you know, up and coming risers stepping up to another division, or just internal to the division itself, unification matches. I really don't want to bring mandatories because we don't know what certain individuals are doing in that slot. Like, for instance, 135-pound division. We don't know if Floyd Schofield is ever going to get a shot at Gervonta Davis. I'm just being honest. Me don't know that. Me don't know what he's talking about. Every time it's a big fight, he pulls out Bumba. You know, I don't know. Abdullah Mason, who's next for Abdullah Mason? Will Abdullah Mason attempt to unify with somebody? Okay, the reason why I started on 135 is that it's been a huge shakeup, you know, starting with the rift that happened with Keyshawn Davis losing his title, being overweight. And at the time, Keyshawn Davis was with the team, the mad scientists, Bo Mack, Red Spike, Esau, all them dudes, Bernie the Boxer, B&B, doing his thing, doing their thing, right? And somehow, some way, I've been listening to a lot of people provide their opinion. Even though it was a little bit talkative, someone was overly garrulous about what they were saying. At the end of the day, Keyshawn is an Olympian. And this the point I'm gonna make about Keyshawn, because y'all heard me several times say I think Keyshawn gets it. I think Keyshawn understands what the business is. I think Keyshawn understands this. I think his family knows what they should do. I think this, and this. I was, I guess, projecting what Keyshawn potential was. I provided him with a higher score before he actually earned it. I basically put it out there and thought, now let me not go back to the Olympics when he was, released from the Olympic facility and then went back. Let's not go back to the testing for positive for marijuana in Texas and his fight turned to a no contest. Let's not bring up, certain situations that people was trying to put those red flags on the scalp of Keyshawn Davis so he can wear them around so people can know, hey, watch out for him, watch out for him. This guy's got some trouble. So when we seen what went down when he missed weight, and then we saying to ourselves, dang, that's bad. He missed weight. They're not even going to fight. And then his brother goes in there, Calvin, and loses. And they have a scuffle back in the back. I said, you know what? Keyshawn don't have it. He don't have the maturity that he need right now. I don't care him running up on Frank Martin. I don't care about the trash talk he be doing. I like Keyshawn's trash talk. I like how he get down, let people know. But it's something else that I'm unable to prognose right now with Keyshawn Davis. And the fact that he said he was retired, Keyshawn said he was retired. It was stuff going on with, him and Top Rank, at the time he was saying that he don't have a fight coming up. You know how the cloud of boxing hovers over some fighters when they mess up. You know that. We've seen it happen, man. We've seen fighters once be in under the light, illuminated, high standing, halo. They shining bright. People want to talk to them, interview them. And then an incident or two or three, they back in the shadows. They can walk through a whole auditorium and maybe one or two media members show up. You know what I'm saying? But what I see right now is that I'm trying to figure out, was it beneficial for Keyshawn to change up his whole team? Is he placing the culpability on somebody specifically as to why he made that decision? I don't know. I'm just being honest. I don't know, because I gave boxing a little, vacation time. I took paid leave. I stepped back from it and just was reading, watching a lot of grappling matches, right? Really getting into the evolution of grappling, and also, paying attention to what's been materializing over there in MMA. But with Keyshawn, for him to say he pretty much overhauled his entire team, my only salute to Keyshawn is that I hope you was right in this decision, because B&B has proven that they understands what needs to happen. Now, of course, leading up to the Crawford fight, that was the naysayers that was out there that said, oh, B&B done lost this fight, B&B done lost that fight. Listen, when you have a legend in your stable, and let's just say you have other fighters who are trying and attempting to build up their legacy, not everybody is going to emulate the legend, because that's not the reason why they came there to begin with. The reason they came there was that the word is out, the paperwork is on deck, and it's been shown and proven that their coaches and team over there know what they're doing. But when it comes to the boxer themselves, of course, everybody's physical stature is different. Okay? Keyshawn Davis has some hiccups. He has some okay, mediocre fights. But for him to miss weight and then overhaul, reconstruct, revise his whole team, I hope it works out for you. Because low key, I still want to be a Keyshawn Davis fan. For real. Low key, he got the mouthpiece. He just has some other issues that going on. I've criticized him for his stupidity, by going back there, having this kid within the close proximity, while he's going in there fighting and putting his career, his career, his bread, his cheese, his cabbage, his spinach, how he provides for his family, the entire nutritional value of how you make your money to provide for your family. You're back there fighting. You're fighting. You're back there trying to prove to a dude who beat your brother that you're a thug. That's what I didn't like about Keyshawn. But him restructuring his team, I don't have too much to say about that, except I hope it works out absolutely fine for you, Keyshawn. If you and Hitchens is going to be next up, good. Y'all be next up. I want to see it. Moving on. Okay, so he said he's still with Bomac. So he said he had changed his whole team. What up, Adam? What up, Thomas? Thanks for everybody dropping the comments. Hey, this is really miscellaneous talk. Hey, BG, tell me who else, because I've been off the grid doing with if he's still with Bomac, who did he change? He said he changed I heard him say he changed his whole team. Shout out to G5 in the building, man. What's good with the G5? Adam said I had Crawford with I had Crawford with a jab. With a KO in the first fight. I got the same in the second. Okay, for sure. Let me know, man. BG. But if Keyshawn overhauled this whole team, I'm hoping it worked out for him. Hope it works out for him. I hope he not only overhauled his team, but allowed himself to get some type of individual. I'm not gonna tag him, I'm not gonna tag him with therapists, psychiatrists, teacher, mentor. I'm not tagging him with that. Somebody who can speak that talk to get Keyshawn to understand he has value in the sport. He was a WBO champion who wasn't able to defend his title. He's already reached the highest pinnacle, right? Now, what he's going to do moving forward. I see Keyshawn moving up to 40, 47, no problem. That's where I can put him at. What he do in between 40 and 47, who knows? Will he fight Hitchens? I think that'll be a good competitive fight. Okay. He said Keyshawn's self-sabotage keeps him from glory. It don't make sense. But look at the WBA. Look at Ryan. It is a trend. Well, the only thing I can say, because I don't watch the other one, acronym that you mentioned, but hold on for a second, y'all. Yeah, with the Ryan situation though, we all know there are some favorable names out there in boxing that can pretty much double, triple the severity of what happened to Keyshawn, like Ryan Garcia did. And look how he was rewarded, y'all. Ryan Garcia went on the rant he went on after testing positive, suspended for a year. Within that suspension, he almost had a fight in Japan. All right, check this out. That fell through only to come back on ring, be the main event, and get paid millions. So was he really punished? Was Ryan Garcia really punished for that? I mean, let's look at some. I'll say that for another live, but look at some other fighters on how they do things is much smaller. They have incidences much smaller. Now, of course, people want to have me mention Tank. Tank's situation, when you do it in front of the camera, guess what? It's going to be extremely difficult for you to prove to the people that wasn't you. It's going to be extremely difficult. But Ryan Garcia is the golden child. We knew this long time ago. I used to say, hey, Ryan's going to get away with it because he's a pretty boy. They always used to say majority of Ryan Garcia's fan base is females. I mean, he always had that golden ticket, yo. This is no different. Appreciate the comment, though. Shout out to Thomas in the building. BJ said, I'm not sure exactly who else, but I just know he's with Bomac still. Well, I heard him on Aki TV. Said he overhauled his whole team. He overhauled his whole team, bro. Let me see, can I find it? Let me see, can I find it for you? He said he overhauled his entire team. So I can't do that right now because I'm going to get off track. Okay? I can't do that right now. Out of respect to those who's in the chat. But shout out to everyone who pulled up. Shout out to everyone that's on deck. Let's talk about the torch is lit for a rematch, right? You know, those who was on deck at the present time that this went down, you know who you are. Those who was in the building, so to speak. When I say in the building, that means you could have been in the building at your home. You could have been at the fight, any of that. But Sir Crawford, 42-0, 31 knockouts, 38 years of age, southpaw, right? 5'9", 75-inch reach. Defeated Saul Canelo Alvarez at Allegiant Stadium, 63 victories, 2 defeats, and 2 draws, right? September 13, 2025. Now, understand one thing. This fight right here, man, will go down in history as one of the most intricate, detailed challenges that went down against the grain of being in the favor of fight fans. When we talk about being in the favor of fight fans, it's so many naysayers that was just shutting this down. I mean, you could talk to the boxing aficionados, the astutes, the ones that call themselves experts, the fighters themselves that are now retired. They themselves got it wrong. Then you have the ones that was the fighters, the experts, the aficionados that said, I see Crawford being different. The WCS, the one who saw Crawford being different. I just seen him. Once in a lifetime, you see a person, you hear a person, you basically combine it all together and say, man, that's that person right there. They're blessed different in life. A blessed person in life when it comes to being a freak of nature or an advanced athlete, one that's considered to be in the top 2% in life. When you see those like Crawford, he may not look the part. And you know, we're visual people, right? You look at somebody and you say, oh man, that small dude, he ain't this, he ain't that. Look at Crawford back in the day. He wasn't all that big, he wasn't all that, but he always let people know that I got that fight in me, I got that dog in him. So he started fighting these fights and start building up his reputation. It goes all the way back when Timothy Bradley saw what he seen and told Crawford he wasn't a sparring partner. So as Crawford started to build and climb that ladder, you know, establishing his career, you know what I'm saying, trying to reach that pinnacle where he could start saying, I'm a world champion. People still didn't quite gravitate to him because he wasn't a media person and all that. All that is behind us. First undisputed dispersion of Julius Ndongo. Second, went in there with Errol Spence and demolished him. Then had the audacity to move up to 154 and fight for a title in his first debut contest at 154 pounds against Madrimov. I love hearing the legs are looking old. He looks slow. He got hit too much. He's on his way out the door. This is a cash grab. And I'm saying, you know what I'm saying to myself, right? At this point, will Crawford ever do enough for the people just to give him the check mark? You know what I'm saying? You know how these social media accounts be verified with check marks? I'm speaking in the sense of boxing based off what Crawford accomplishments. He was stacking them up, right? But I always say to myself, will he ever get the check mark of approval that people will automatically look and say, check mark? No, he didn't get that with Errol Spence. He didn't get it. But once the fight was over, they still wanted to leave the box unchecked. Then when he went up there and beat Madrimov, does he get the check mark? No, because Madrimov didn't have familiarity with the people. I have to look at that again. Appreciate that, BJ. I have to look at it again. I could have. It's a video out there that I know for a fact that Keyshawn said he changed his whole team, and they asked him again, saying that. Asked him something about that. He said, "Yeah, I changed everything. It's out there, bro. I changed everything. I might have got Aki TV mixed up, but I'll check it out. Appreciate the info." He said Tim Bradley released 30-minute sparring with him and Crawford, and Bud dropped him. Let me throw that up there right quick. But even when he was coming up, right? When Bud Crawford was trying to establish himself and moving up 154, the fight with Errol Spence, really, when you look at it, it changed a lot of boxers, the fans of boxing lives. It changed their perception. You know what I'm saying? If they hated Bud before, they probably hated him more. If they hated him before, he probably changed some of their minds. Why? Because it was two black fighters that this fight potentially supposedly had been marinating for years upon years. It was so much hype behind this fight, and it finally happened, and he made it look easy. He made that fight with Spence look easier than Jose Benavidez, a fighter that they said had one leg. He made Errol Spence, who had two legs, two arms, made him look like easy work. Made it look easier than Kavalaskis. Made it look easier than Jeff Horn. He made the fight with Errol Spence look easy. He did not make the fight look easy with Madrimov, but he ended up winning the belt. So this is when you look at how the weather changed, because boxing is an annual sport. The weather started to change, y'all, for Bud Crawford. When he went in there and beat Madrimov, it was a lot of people that were saying he couldn't. And they started saying, well, he looked a little old. There's a cash grab, this, that, and the other. But he got it done. But, you know what I'm saying? They started to change the D in Bud to But. Bud became the But. Whenever you hear somebody talk about what they think they can what he can do and what he can't do. But hey, check this out. But check this out. But check this out. And you talking about Bud Crawford, man. You saw what he did to Spence. But Spence had the accident. Hey, you saw what he went up there and did to Madrimov. He went out there and fought a title shot in his first fight. But It ain't no but. You can't say because Madrimov was 10-1, it's a but. And then when the Canelo talk start to serenade those who was listening in, wondering what Bud's next move was going to be. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how dare Bud sit up here and start talking about, hey, his weight class is for a reason. Ain't that what he said? His weight class for a reason. No, I'm good. So I guess as time went along, he had put something out there about Bill Haney saying Canelo is really the fight. Now there was commitment going on. There was commitment for Bud to be asked. We've heard Canelo. Is this true? Is there any validity to what we've been hearing? Is there? Are you being honest? Are you being genuine that Canelo may be a potential opponent in your future? And sure enough, as they made the rounds and continued to corral people's opinions at these fights, it was found out that Bud was going to fight Canelo Alvarez. His intentions was to fight Canelo Alvarez. His intentions was to now fight the face of boxing, the man that the Mexican people adored. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it don't get that much. Promise. It doesn't get that much VIP service. Popularity out of the window with Canelo Alvarez. But with that said, when you start to see these individuals make their rounds with the radio and the podcast, and you start to hear certain things like Canelo say he's easy money, he's too small, he don't get nothing. And then, Bud saying, I'm not sure. And then changing his tune saying, yeah, I want to fight Canelo. And people say, you sure? You sure, Bud, you want to fight Canelo? You sure? You're a 47 pounder. They couldn't make up their mind whether to start the combo. You're a 35 pounder. Come on, man. Why are you going to say I'm a 35 pounder? I moved up to 47. Jeff Horn, a big Australian, was bigger than me. And I still went up there and stopped him in my first championship fight at 147. I went undefeated, all knockouts. How can you say that I'm a 35er? How can you say I'm a 40? How can you say I'm a 47 pounder when I just won at 54? You have to question the confusion. With so much delirium going on with the fight fans. I mean, you're talking about a deck of cards. They didn't know how to shuffle. They was combining Uno cards with real shuffling cards. That's how confused boxing was when Crawford said, I want to fight Canelo Alvarez, who is the current reigning defending undisputed super middleweight world champion. How can it be that little old Bud is going up here to fight this guy? Turkey Al-Sheikh got in on it. He put out some information that the fight was happening. And then he played around and dangled the strings a little bit, puppetized the fight fans like they love to be taken advantage of. Stripped them of a little bit of their dignity. Massaged their sanity a bit and say the fight's not happening. The fight's not happening, y'all. And then we heard Canelo's fighting Jake Paul, right? And then the news came back, returned, stamped, no signature needed. Special delivery. Weekend Bud versus Canelo. Now, at this point in time, I was still on the mic talking about how the aerosexual was still in seclusion, isolated from the T-Mobile massacre back in September 29, 2023. I was still out here talking about it. I was still out here talking about how the aerosexual fan base crumbled, how they was annihilated, y'all. Did I not say that Canelo fans would be just the same? I gave a higher score of survivability to the Canelo fans than I did the aerosexual fans, because Mexicans stick together when it comes to boxers. The Mexican fan base is a lot more cohesive, and they stick together. And I say, hey, they're gonna be different. They're gonna be tough. And boy, was I disappointed when the fight was made official. I was disappointed not to see the Canelo fans out here in protest, out here advocating, cheering for their favorite fighter, Canelo Alvarez. They was out of sight, yo. And you know why the Canelo fans was out of sight? Because Crawford scared the goddamn wasabi out of them. They scared them. He put fear in their hearts because they looked at it like, okay, at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you like this, Holmes. At the end of the day, we know boxing. And I'm not saying that he's gonna beat Canelo, but the way he did that with Spence Holmes, hey, we can't sit up here and say he's too small. You understand? He's not too small, mijo. They started to understand that Crawford was a real threat. The real ones understood him moving up to 54 for a championship fight wasn't easy in his first fight. People tried to underscore the fact that he took time off, to come back and fight when he was really fighting once a year. You can go all the way back to what? Sean Porter? No, not Sean Porter. I mean, you can go back to when he was fighting one fight a year, and it didn't affect him. But when this fight was announced, you all, and it hit the airwaves like a swarm of locusts. You know I ain't lying now. There was like a swarm of locusts. This fight news hit the airwaves, man, and people didn't know how to act. People did not understand the magnitude of what was about to happen. There was some out there that was saying Crawford's out of his mind. Oh, he's out of his mind. What is he doing? And then the more and more press that started to happen and talking, you have people say, I think Crawford can beat him. I think Crawford can beat him. I can't wait till the presser. The fight was made official. It hit the flyers. The fight was made official. Now, all we had to do was sit back and wait and understand we're about to once again witness one of the most legendary fighters of this era cemented. Leave no freaking doubts. Cross them, dot them. Confirmation. He's about to leave no stone unturned when it comes to Crawford's conversation as being the best fighter of this era. He's about to stamp it and lock it and put his anchor up top so his flag can blow in the wind, saying, I'm the man. I sit the throne. Heavy is the head who wear the crown. We sitting back, we talking, who gonna win, who gonna win. And the most disappointing part about this whole deal was when the news hit, I was expecting a whirlwind of participation. I didn't get it. I was thinking about all the verbal combinations that was going to happen with people doing debates, because this was different than Spence. Canelo haven't had any type of incidents back in the past where people can say, this might affect Canelo. This might affect this. It might affect that. It wasn't any of that can be used against Canelo. Canelo had pretty much sanitized. I'm talking about he had grabbed a mop handle with some fresh water. I mean, fresh. Put that goddamn bubbly detergent. Woo, this smells good. I just can't wait to clean this division up. And he starts swarming down the 168-pound middleweight division. And he cleaned it out. Even defended his titles. Even moved up to 175. And that is exactly why people were strangely in a state of delirium when it came to putting their whole heart and confidence saying, can Crawford beat Canelo, who's moved up to fight a fighter like Bivol? He went the distance with Bivol. So little old Crawford coming up here, Canelo's not going to have a problem with it. They wasn't talking about, Errol Spence. He had an accident here, this, he had that. He might have been drinking here, there, and the other. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really that talk. Canelo hasn't been seen in. I'm not saying he don't drink. He hasn't been seen in public doing that. He hasn't been said to have fallen off one of those horses doing equine therapy, right? What I'm trying to tell you, he had a perfect bill of health. Besides his red hair, that cinnamon hair hair that he has on his body. So once the back and forth happened, they finally signed and snapped, and the first freaking press conference happened. It was boring. Wasn't too much said. But then I guess people were saying that, Crawford was scared. And, Crawford, he get active. It got a little bit more physical, and Crawford came up there and walked in Canelo's face. And look, I knew it was bad for Canelo at that point. People really don't pay attention. They pay attention to the wrong thing. They might be paying attention, but it's off to somewhere else. They're not really paying attention to the intricate details. When Canelo lightly shoved Crawford, and he didn't give him the same energy that he gave Caleb Plant. You know what I mean? He didn't give him the same energy he gave Caleb Plant. This man acted like he spoke no English, no slang, no Ebonics. I don't know what vulgarity means. Mother effer. You talking about my mother? Me mother? You don't talk about my mother. He pushed the crap out of Caleb Plant. But when he pushed Crawford, it was like, like a dog would sneeze, and you back up a little bit because he got a little saliva on you or something like that. It wasn't forceful. I said, man. And then Crawford just walked him down into the shadows. I said, man, this fight is going to be good. It's going to be good because I knew Crawford had a wrestling background. I knew Crawford would be good in the clinch. I knew he would be, in my opinion, a more stronger fighter if they had to fight close quarters. If he had to really try to apply his will to Canelo on the inside, I truly believe Crawford would have been a stronger fighter. Now, it's a lot of haters that didn't quite understand where I was coming from. If you never did grappling or wrestling before, you wouldn't understand that it's applicable. I have a video out there of when I was in American Top Team down here, and one of the legends were showing how to dirty box in the clinch, and it made sense, because you have the triad boxing, you have the dirty boxing now by Michael Perry. He was showing you how to dirty box in the clinch. And that can actually work in the sport of boxing when you're in the clinch and boxers hold. If you look, they always want to know who has the overhook, who has the underhook. How does it apply to the positioning when you're in the boxing ring? And you're seeing how you can tie down a fighter's hand and then punch with your free hand. And that's the instructions that he was going over in his jiu-jitsu academy to some professional fighters on how to clinch and still make it legal and be able to shoot an uppercut, shoot a hook to the body, be able to fight on the inside. So when all the news started to come up there, we had the pressers and we got down to the weigh-in and everything, and all the talk was done. I'm still disappointed in Canelo fans. They really didn't show up for this because they in my understanding, the Canelo fans understood that Crawford was going to be a tough match. Canelo is not a huge 168 pounder, but the real boxing fans knew technically, courageously, tenaciously, dog, if he want to fight, box, agility, Crawford had that. When Crawford went in there and fought William Scoll, people was contemplating like, oh, he didn't look too good because William Scoll was running and all that. And he's Canelo Alvarez. I mean, you beat up on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. for 12 rounds, but you didn't do the same thing for freaking Scoll. because the similarities are that before he went in there and fought Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he had a fight lined up already with Triple G. The same thing. He went in there with Skull and he had a fight lined up with Crawford. Watching the fight play out and how fast of a start and how quick Crawford looked with his feet. Not to go through and usually be supererogatory like I'm used to, but just, telling the listeners how precious that fight was to be able to see him fight Spence, but to go up 2 weight divisions. How precious that fight is going to cultivate in the history of boxing. I'm talking about film study. That fight right now has probably been played countless upon countless times on how certain moments of the fight, Crawford looked absolutely beautiful to the sweet sides. Absolutely beautiful. As far as having a technique that was flowing like water. People say he wouldn't fight Canelo on the inside. He fought him on the inside. Fought him on the outside. Then you see little clips of him hand trapping Canelo and then coming over the top with the left. Oh my God, beautiful work. The jab, yo. How he was lighting Canelo up, doubling up on the jab. He put in a beautiful display of the science of boxing. Yes, this was a moment where Crawford made the science sweet. People talk about the sweet science all the time, but the science of his technical boxing mastery made the science look sweet, because who he went in there and did it against, the challenge to move up 2 weight divisions to such a heavy weight class, and also have the gall, have the confidence of machismo to go in there without a tune-up fight. To fight Canelo Alvarez without one tune-up fight at the super middleweight division. Now, people, as I tell you before, that is greatness, that is greatness, that is greatness. He went in there and gave Canelo Alvarez a boxing lesson that Canelo himself has had a problem dealing with. Canelo has had an issue digesting Crawford's loss. Not only that, is that Canelo was paid a lot of money and Crawford was paid what he was paid. But Canelo got the heavier monetary balance of the scales. It took more than 2 to 3 men to load out Canelo's money. Canelo has made a lucrative amount of monetary wealth during his career as a professional boxer. But this fight with Crawford, how do you itemize it, right? To pick out what truly affected Canelo Alvarez to not want to take the fight May of 2026. What is he thinking about? What bothers him? I'm curious, what is bothering him, Canelo? This is Canelo Alvarez, yo. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get dropped. I'm contemplating, man, what is causing him to hesitate, to be optimistic to return in May, to fight a caliber fighter like Crawford. Now, don't get it twisted. Canelo Alvarez is a legend. Canelo Alvarez is an absolute legend of boxing. He has those 65 professional fights, yo. He is a legend. On that other side of legendary status, right? When you're talking about turning up the brightness, when we're talking about what type of bulb are you using, when you talk about is this natural light or manufactured light when it comes to Terrence Crawford's career. Crawford made the decision to not have a single fight before Canelo Alvarez. Canelo did. Canelo still stepped in there and lost to Crawford. If they was by chance going to have a fight in 2026, what's holding up Canelo's confidence now? Did Crawford break his confidence? Did he splinter Canelo's will? Huh? Was Canelo's overall confidence pliable heading into that because people was telling him that Crawford was going to beat him? Was it already bending and flexing? Was Canelo already vulnerable to the comments he was hearing that the usual fan club that said Canelo, 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 no worry, no say you're going to do it. You're going to do it, Canelo. Were they telling him like, hey, we're going to pray for you? Did it get to Canelo to go in there and get beat the way he did, get clinicked by a master boxer? Did it become boombastic? I don't know, bro. But I'm disappointed that Canelo's not taking this fight in May. That means I'm curious to know what Crawford's going to do the entire year of 2026. I don't know if he's going to wait supposedly September, because from what I heard, Canelo Alvarez did not celebrate independence, Mexican independence in September. So allegedly, I read somewhere, I'm saying allegedly, rumors that he's not fighting in May. He's going to fight in September. I don't know. That means we're going to go a whole year. We're trying to figure out what Crawford's going to do. Now, do I care who Crawford fights after Canelo? Only if he's going for another division. I would like to see him go down to 160 and make a fight. I would like that. I would like that, bro. Because you're talking about 35, Ichi. 140, Ni. 47, Sung. 54, Chi. And the number 5, Go. 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 68. He's a 5-division champion. 3 of the 5, 3/5 of the nickel. 40, 47, and 68. He is undisputed. That is a beautiful read, ain't it? Hey, clap it up. That's a beautiful read. I'm not going to lie to you. That's a beautiful read, y'all. That right there is a beautiful read. It doesn't take much for you to add up all those numbers. It doesn't take a lot for you to understand, you know, the magnitude of his achievements, his accolades. Yo, but we have to wait majority until the back end of the semester of 2026 to see him fight again. Shout out to my guy, Green in the building. What's good, Green? Salute to you. I see you. What's good? Shout out to my guy, the Oracle, the plug, Trick, Noti in the building. What's good with it, Trick, man? I was going to give you a call today, too, because I saw where you hit me up. I was out of town for a little bit, man. He said, what's good, WCS? Yes, Bud made it look easy. If they fight again, Bud is the A side. The Canelo fans are making excuses from he was old to Canelo's parents were being shaken down by the Mexican cartel. Well, Trick, as we all know, and you being an astute teleporter to professional boxing, didn't the cartel have something with his brother last time around? Haven't we all been provided an understanding via a plethora of documentation and current and events, media-worthy events on the news on how strict the cartel is over there? Canelo Alvarez, you know, he's been able to participate in boxing for a long time. So why bring the cartel in it because of Crawford? Why put that stamp, put that jacket on Crawford's win? Why couldn't you say Canelo was just weight trained, like you said about Spence? Why couldn't you just say something that it looked like Canelo was high? Why? Or he might have fell off one of those horses. Why come up and attempt to erase? You know, that's impossible. What I mean by erase, they're trying to basically take away the glory aspect of it. Now, the documentation and what's in stone in the boxing annals, what's there for life, they can't do anything with that. That no way that can be expunged. But when it comes to the glory aspect of it, that's when a problem arises with so many people up here trying their best to come up with excuses for Canelo Alvarez. Just let Sir Crawford, have his first, second, and third. The first become 2, the first become 3. That ain't going nowhere, yo. But I appreciate that, Trick. I appreciate that. Shout out to my guy Carlos on deck. What it do, Carlos? W said salute. That man Canelo might as well just move on to the next cause. Bud gonna do you even more dirty in the second fight. Now, reading that, there's some plausible confirmation for me. The plausible confirmation is that I just haven't seen a fight where Bud has been in a rematch. You understand what I'm saying, Carlos? So from what I've witnessed on the first go round, you know how they say, okay, you have certain fights that was so good in the first time around, it's gonna be that good in the second. But this, I'm talking about how Bud goes up and do things, complete and execute for the first time, and he gets the job done. So based off what Carlos said, I don't project that Bud is gonna have an issue going in there with Canelo Alvarez and understand what the game plan is again. He has a feel for Canelo. He understands the strength and weaknesses of Canelo. He understands the patterns, the rhythm. Canelo is not, and once again, I repeat, y'all, he's not going to change up how he is as a fighter. Eddie Reynoso is not going to change him up. Did you think you was going to expect something extremely different than what we've seen Canelo from Eddie Reynoso? No, not at all. But you make a good point there, Carlos. It would even be easier rematch with what would happen to Canelo, even know this. I agree, yo. You know, if anybody want to jump on the panel and kind of chop it up for a little bit, you know, about boxing in general, not just the topics that I had. Any comments that you have, the link has been dropped in the chat. You know, that's up to y'all. I know it's Sunday, and some of you all just got out of church, and you had to go in front of the church and confess your sins. I understand that, but you know, one thing for sure is that I'm unhappy that this fight is not going to happen in the middle, say mid semester of 2026, man. I'm disappointed, and I'm trying to find out, like, who else can we get up there? You know what I'm saying? Who else is gonna have a big fight? Carlos is on deck. What it do, man?
WCS, what's up, baby?
I'm good, bro. How you been?
I'm good, man. Just busy holiday season, so motherfucker trying to get to that bag. You feel me?
Yeah, you already done dropped like 3 or 4 stacks on presents. I'm a little bit overboard with the numbers.
Oh, see, the crazy thing is, I don't celebrate Christmas. So I ain't got to worry about I ain't got to worry about none of that. I go for the after Christmas sales.
Yeah, the Black Fridays. I got you on that. Yeah.
The 26th is my Christmas.
You're right.
But listen, that Bud Rematch, listen, I know it's never going to happen. But if for some reason that Riyadh season gets that shit together again, that fucking fight is going to be easy like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
It's going to be too easy for Bud. I wouldn't even bet on the fight.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it either because this potentially could be a draw so they can milk out a trilogy. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I don't think Bud ain't going to let that happen. Bud ain't going to let no draw happen. But I hear what you're saying, though. I know how the game is.
Exactly. I wouldn't think Bud, like I said before, with Spence, I thought at one point in time, they might try to make it a draw. But you're right. I don't think Bud want no draw with Canelo. He don't want none of that.
Now, if for some reason the fight looks like to everybody else, except for us, a little closer or somewhat debatable, then they will give him a draw just to be like, here you go. Let's have a trilogy so we can all make money off of this shit. So, but that's just the game of boxing, WCS. You know how that is. And politics be everywhere.
My bag, I dropped out. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, what I was saying, I was like, am I hosting now? I'll take this to a whole new level, WCS. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I know, right? I was like, let me get back on here, Carlos. No, but I feel what you're saying, man. Bud ain't gonna allow that to happen, but also at this point in time, Riyadh season understands that the fight, did well, as far as when you talk about viewership. Not so much the numbers of viewership, but the popularity and people tune in because that was a big fight, man. People, come on, you saw the stadium.
Hell yeah! I mean, to me, that was probably the biggest. Yeah, to me, that was probably the biggest fight as far as day wise. It's probably maybe Bud and Spence or.
I think those. I don't know. I haven't even really looked up the numbers.
I mean, there's been a couple other big name fights. You had Usyk and Fury, but I don't think it was as much anticipated as Bud and Canelo. Like, I don't think it was as anticipated because, the small guys. I mean, even though the heavyweights are they're the top dog, and that's what throughout the history of boxing, that's what that was the thing, was the heavyweights. You know what I'm saying? But this era is the little guys. So, you know what I mean? I would feel like the smaller fights would be more anticipated than the big boy fights nowadays.
Correct. Yeah, the heavyweight do still, reign supreme at the top when it comes to people tuning in, especially if it's a title on the line or titles per se. But Allegiant Stadium, it's like 65,000 capacity. I thought it was a larger stadium than that, but it's 65,000.
Allegiant, that's what that's the Vegas, that's the Raiders stadium, right?
Yeah.
65, that's it. I would thought
that's what I'm saying.
100,000. Wow.
Yeah, I know the Cowboys stadium, I believe, has a larger capacity than that. Let me see, Cowboys.
I think that stadium could hold like because there's some stadiums that you could expand the seats out. Like certain stadiums you could do certain things to because of events, and you could add seats or take them away. So I believe that the Cowboys stadium you could get at least 100,000. But then you're also in Texas too, so it depends on the state as well.
True.
Because our stadium over here in Philly at top capacity is about like 68, maybe 70.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying? But you go to somewhere to like Dallas or LA, they're gonna have 100,000 seats, 70, 80,000 seat stadium just on a regular. Yeah. Now, if you add concerts to that shit, that's 100,000 people easy, depending on the artist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, what you think about that Lamont fight, man? I was kind of surprised that he ended up with a draw there, man.
Well, I'm gonna be absolutely honest with you, Carlos. I didn't watch it, bro, because I was in Jamaica, man, and certain parts of that haven't recovered yet, and the electricity was intermittent. So I couldn't even watch the fight like that. That's why I was off the grid for a minute because they
you was down there when that happened?
No, I was
or kind of like
after it happened. I was after
yeah,
it
the
happened, like
aftermath.
a couple of weeks after it happened.
Wow.
Maybe 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. I forgot when it actually happened, but they were still, certain areas without electricity. Of course, you don't have electricity, you don't have Wi-Fi shit and all
Mhm.
that. So I didn't watch it, man. I was just trying to. Whenever I had a chance to go where there was Wi-Fi at, I would check it and see what happened. And then I said, and this is the first thing I read, Carlos. I heard Lamont on X. I said, let me go to his X. He said, "Oh, I fought. I let my nuts hang and all this and that." I said, "Okay, did he win though?" And and then I went, I tried to go through the comments. I wasn't getting any answers. And then I heard it was a draw. So what
Yeah.
did you think about the fight? Did you think he won or Cruz won or who?
No, I think it was. I thought Lamont was gonna win, but I won't argue with anybody that says it's a draw. He got knocked down too.
Yeah, I
Pitbull knocked
seen
him
that.
down. Yeah, and Pitbull, he's gonna come with the pressure. He was catching him with the left hook basically all night. Like he was very very weak to that left hook.
Mhm.
Lamont was doing this thing. He was hitting him back and all that, but it seemed like when it came to the exchanges at times, it seemed like Pitbull had more impact from the last punch landing on those
Mm.
exchanges.
Oh,
You know what
okay.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was obviously a fight where it's like they were in a phone booth, so it's kind of hard to judge that sometimes. Um, but yeah, I don't think anybody really took over the fight. It was back and forth. It was a good fight, entertaining. I thought Lamont could have did a little more, but I guess Pitbull taking them punches and just keep coming forward. That shit does something to people.
Yeah, Pitbull can take those punches now. And he
Definitely
did,
can.
several fights before that. I don't know how long his career is gonna last because what was the dude he had a knock him out, bang out fight with that he won the rematch?
Hmm.
Pitbull Cruz.
I know you
I'm
talking
just
about. I forgot his name.
I'm just saying in that fight, old boy stood Cruz up. Like, I
Yeah,
don't know how long. I like Cruz's fighting style, but he's been exposed a lot, for coming forward, throwing the same combinations, overhand left all the time, just being a
that's what surprised me.
straightforward fighter.
That's what
Hmm?
surprised me about about the Lamont fight. How he kept on getting caught with that left hook. He tried
Uh-huh.
to make his adjustments. He made his little adjustments, but it was like he just kept on getting caught with it. I'm like, what are you doing?
And that's his coaching too, man. They know he need to change it up. But I guess they say,
Mhm.
man, you got short arms. We're gonna keep you on the inside, with your proper distance to be able to touch your opponent. I mean, we don't feel comfortable with you being a distance and popping the jab. That ain't who you are. You're a brawler,
Yeah, yeah.
you know.
He's more of a. He's not the one to bring it to you. He's more of the
Mm-hmm.
counter guy. He wants you to throw the punch so he could come back with some short punches and hit you up again because he doesn't have that arm length. So he can't pop that jab out like that unless he's fighting somebody like a tank who's got shorter arms, or you know what I'm saying? Unless the person got shorter arms, then you might. But that's just, I guess you said, that's just his style. So when you're embedded in a style for so long, it's kind of hard to reteach yourself certain things.
Yeah. Who do you think you want to see Cruz or Cruz or Roach fight next?
Well, I would still like to see Roach and Tank again.
Mm.
I doubt that that's going to happen, but Cruz,
Well, I haven't been keeping in contact. What's going on with Tank? He's what? I thought he was coming back to the sport.
I have no idea. The last thing I heard about Tank was something about him and Jake were going through some legal. Say I'm going to expose you or something like that before he ended up fighting Joshua. That's the last thing I heard about Tank. It was something about Jake about the fight, but I haven't heard anything else about him or
I,
anything that has to do with boxing.
oh, okay. I know somebody. I read what somebody said. Hey, Jake Paul, stop acting like you didn't know that about Tank before you put this fight out there. You knew about that, period. And also, they put out there that Jake Paul had a situation of domestic violence too. So I know with
Mm.
Tank, it has been repetitive on more than one occasion. But I really hope he comes back and fight somebody like the likes of Floyd Schofield or even Shakur Stevenson, Murathaya. But just like Bud, I didn't really talk about him and the WBC, but I don't think Javante Davis like paying sanctioning fees.
I don't
I
think
think he
any of them
likes
do.
getting his money.
I
I
don't think
think he
if I was
likes
a
his
boxer, I
money.
want one too.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And then speaking of Schofield, that didn't he fight? He just beat the hell out of Fulton, didn't he?
No, that was O'Shaquie Foster.
Oh, Foster. I always get them too confused. Yeah, he
that
gave
was
Fulton
O'Shaquie
that
Foster.
work.
Yeah, he did. He gave Fulton the work. I mean, nobody said O'Shaquie couldn't box now. It's just with him, sometimes he wait too long. Like he tried to work on his defensive, prowess. And sometimes he don't put enough punch combinations together, but he put that work in on Fulton though.
And I was at the TV like, come on, do it for Philly, Fulton.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're making Philly look bad like Boots. I say you're making us look bad. I said, damn. I said, he beat us.
Bozy, what are you doing, Bozy?
Bozy, I know that man wave cap stink. I ain't never see him take that wave cap off. And I love Bozy, but god damn, Bozy. You dress like you still institutionalized, Bozy.
Like that. Hey, man, I love it, man. I got love for man. That's just, it seemed like it smelled like hot damn spam juice and collard greens. Shit. Old baloney.
I ain't letting none of this shit go, baby. I still got that prison mentality. Oh, with that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll see what's happening. I don't know. I haven't been kind of like, I've been a little bit in the loop because, like I said, I've been busy with work and stuff. So I really don't even know what's like the next fight that's kind of like intriguing right now.
You don't think Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson is intriguing?
Oh yeah, they see that. I've been out the loop. I forgot that they fighting. So yeah, that's one right there. Hell yeah, I'm definitely watching that fight.
Yeah, I think that's intriguing enough for people to stand up a little bit, being that we've been waiting for Teofimo to step up again. Now Shakur is moving up from 35 to 40. Oh, hell yeah. It's an interesting contrast of styles a bit. Because you got the herky jerky Teofimo bouncing back and forth, and then you got the defensive minded, counter punching Shakur. It's gonna be an interesting clash, in my opinion. Depends on whose game plan is gonna, overcome. But I feel Shakur is gonna do his thing defensively and, do what he's been doing. Pot shot, catch him with a couple shots. Teofimo's going obviously he's gonna get his hits in, of course. He's a professional. But I just think Shakur is just too good defensively for Teofimo. And I think Teofimo, to me, is a little bit mentally weak. You can see when he gets frustrated. So I think he's going to frustrate him in the fight, and he's going to make a mistake. I don't think he's going to knock out Teofimo. I don't think it's going to be a knockout, but I think he's going to put on a show. I think Shakur going to do his thing. I agree, bro. Great breakdown. Yeah, I agree. I got Shakur in that fight. I don't see it coming easy.
That's good for Shakur, though.
That's going to be interesting. Even though they always talk about Shakur lack of punching power, we just seen Devin Haney, who pretty much had the same tag placed on him. He dropped Brian Norman Jr., but Shakur Stevenson not Shakur, Teofimo Lopez has been dropped before. Several times.
It's not just about one punch knockout power. Accumulation of punches could do damage too. So he's like, you keep getting hit in the same spot, it's eventually going to hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was surprised on how that fight played out.
Which one?
With Norman Jr. and Haney, but
man,
being that Norman Jr. is so young, I mean, he has a chance to recover. But when he landed that shot, I was like, I said, it's no way, man. I mean, I guess I'm looking at Haney. I say, man, Haney looks a 47-pounder. He looks 54 right now.
Yeah,
he looks good. He looked like he rebounded, but I was really pulling for Norman Jr. though. I was just surprised he got dropped early.
Can you, like, as a boxer, right? Can you, like with Haney, can you carry power? Like if you gain weight?
You can, man. If you know what beats power, right?
Speed.
Timing.
Timing and speed.
Timing beats power. And that's one thing Haney had that night.
Mm-hmm.
He had timing. Timing beats power. The shot you don't see coming. Ugh.
Catches anybody. That's why I tell people. I said, okay, how many fucking muscles you got? That jaw ain't
Yeah.
got no muscles. You get hit in that jaw correctly, you go to sleep.
Yeah,
I've
that
seen it.
jaw.
I've seen
I've
skinny
told
niggas knock
people.
big niggas out. I've
Yep.
seen.
Yep.
I've
You
seen
ain't
it. So
lying.
it's like I be telling people. I was like, if you were to have somebody throw a punch, right? Like, let's say, like somebody like a Snoop Dogg, right? Like a
Mm-hmm.
Snoop Dogg in his prime, right? And you have somebody who's kind of like a bigger muscle, not muscle bound guy, but got more muscles bigger than him. I will
Mm-hmm.
put my money on Snoop Dogg to knock out the big guy because he got the longer muscles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, according to how
yeah,
fast, Snoop Dogg has training too. So he ain't an average street dude coming up there to fight. But I'm pretty sure, like Fundora, Snoop, they might have
hmm
similar freaking arm reach.
yeah, it's just not fair for Ndor. That motherfucker's a creative player, man.
Yeah. And just to think he used to box on the inside early in his career because his eyesight isn't that good. But when he put
That's
that
what makes it
jab,
crazy because he's for him being so big, he's actually good on the inside.
yeah, he
He's
actually
not,
good on the inside, man.
yeah. So it's like that's like double whammy. So it's like now you staying on the end of that long ass jab. You try to come in, I'm gonna catch you with this long ass uppercut. I can fight
Mm-hmm.
inside too. So it's like, yeah. But he's a prime example of accumulating punches.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like what he did to Zoo. He just those punches just
And he
kept on
did the
accumulating, and
freaking Erickson Lubin too.
yeah, Lubin. That you mean obviously sometimes you're gonna catch him and you might get a knockout. Again, that's the
Mm-hmm.
game of boxing. You catch him in the
Yep.
sweet spot. 90%, 99% of people are gonna go to sleep. But
Yeah.
you keep hitting somebody that you listen, they gonna go down or they're gonna be like, look, I'm done. Can't do this anymore. But yeah, I can't wait to see that tier. When is that fight coming up soon, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's like next month,
Let me
February.
see. Let me see. It's coming up soon, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that fight.
They doing pressers now. Not they did the face off or something like that. The face off, like were they in the room talking? You know what I'm saying? The face off.
Yeah, yeah.
So he's supposed to fight January 31st next month.
Oh, all right.
January 31st at Madison Square Garden for T.O.'s belt. Yep.
Oh, I see who's gonna lose that belt. I ain't worried about that.
See.
But that motherfucking the press conference, T.O. might have it lit. Because I know T.O.'s gonna be the one to set it off.
You heard he said that Shakur Stevenson and when they was in the room going back and forth face off and they was being interviewed, he said he's gonna F Shakur real good. And
Was that the one?
Shakur's
Was
like,
that the one they just did now, or is it the one when they were in the room together with Haney and Ryan when they had that fight night?
No, he was in the room with somebody that was interviewing him. They had an
Oh,
arbitrator.
okay.
Whoever he was, the guy had shades, so I forgot his name. But T.O. said he gonna F him real good, and then Shakur said, "How did I supposed to respond to that, man? What are you talking about? You know how T.O. is. T.O. say anything."
Yeah, he definitely will. But another part of boxing is the psychological part.
Oh,
So
hell yeah.
He gonna have his head so flabbergasted. He's like, I got you now. He gonna be thinking about getting fucked the whole fight. Nah, he gonna put it on him. He gonna put it on him.
It's gonna be interesting because
Yeah.
T.O. doesn't fight like William Cepeda, but I really thought that Shakur did his thing in that versus Cepeda. He did. It's good to see Shakur fan base rallying to his side again, giving him support because they had pretty much abandoned him after the freaking Edward De Los Santos fight, and then the other fight he had in his hometown, Archuin, whatever his name was.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying he was a boring ass fighter. So yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it.
I mean, he came out. William Cepeda fight. I like the pace that he was putting on Cepeda. Cepeda was coming. He was countering, shooting that uppercut up the middle, man, hooking him, pivoting out. I mean, all that pressure, he was making Cepeda pay for it. But Cepeda fought a good fight too, man.
Yeah, but that's the levels right there. Shakur showed you, like, his defense.
Yep.
That defense, man, that defense can open up so much offense. And that's my
And
thing. If I was a professional boxer, I'll be working on defense so much.
mm-hmm. Yep.
They
It's
just don't
important.
understand. It's
It's
very
real
important.
important.
Very important. So it's like, but yeah, I hope the card is at least solid.
Did you see this last? I mean, I guess it's a fight that's coming up with David Morrell. I could have sworn he had another good fight coming up, man. I forgot, man. I don't even know why I brought him up. I just had his name. He has another good fight coming up, I think.
Morale. Can he fight
Amon
Benavidez?
Chatyayev. Yeah, he fought Benavidez like earlier this year, February this year.
That was the last fight I saw his.
Yeah.
When he fought Benavidez.
But he fought a fight against Iman July, and he was dropped in the 5th round. Morrell was.
Oh.
Yeah, he was dropped in the 5th round. It was a tough fight, man. Iman was giving it to him, bro. I was like, I became a fan a little bit, but people was like, oh man, don't jump on that. He's just like every European fighter, man. He's tough, and you know he'll terminate it. He comes forward, throw punches, but this dude was really standing in that box and countering. Man, it was a good fight, man. You watch that fight, check it out, man. It's a good fight. That dude was entertaining.
Hey, WCS, out of what do you think out of the fights that you watched that you could remember? What you think was the upset of the year to you?
Upset of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the upset of the year this year, to me, is going to be Crawford Canelo, in my opinion.
Crawford Canelo?
2 weight classes, never having to fight at 168. I just feel that was an upset of the year. But if I was to give a option, a secondary, let me see. Upset of the year. Hold on. Let me see. Upset of the year. I would say, I can't say Norman Haney because Haney's been undisputed already, and he's been a 140-pound WBC champion. So I didn't look at that as being an upset.
Me neither.
It was just
Brian Norman, if he would have won, it wouldn't have surprised me.
Yeah. 54. I would say, I don't know, man. You know, say heavyweights. Don't forget the heavyweights. Can't say Joseph Parker, even though I was disappointed. Let's see, Daniel Dubois. Can't say Daniel Dubois because he had quit before. I don't know, man. What was your upset?
Berlega.
Oh yeah. You said Berlanga?
Yeah, Berlega was my upset. I like Bud too because of the 2 weight classes. So I would consider somebody underdog in that sense of like you're already coming in disadvantaged.
Why do you think that was an upset? Because of Hamzat, the way he looked against a dumbass. Why would you think that was an upset? He looked bad to fight before that, bro. Didn't he?
You talking about the Berlanga fight?
Yeah, Berlanga before then. Then he looked a little suspect. You know, like
he did, but I didn't know anything about the dude that fought him.
Hamzat, you didn't know?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. It's the first time I saw him. So I'm thinking, I'm like, all right, you know, probably a good fight, like this must be like a tune-up fight for Berlanga. You know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming, okay, let's see what Berlanga do, because he did look suspect in his last one. Maybe he wanted to get some work in. Yeah. And the dude just, I'm like, damn, who the heck is this dude? This Prince of Persia looking motherfucker whipping his ass.
Yeah. See, Hamzat, they said that he was a bit weight drained at 160. That's why he looked bad against Carlos Adames, which ended in the draw.
So he went back up to his natural weight.
168. He just went in there and destroyed Edgar. Edgar started beating up his own gloves.
You could tell what a fight, and I'm not taking away from the guy because he definitely did his thing. It just seemed like Berlega didn't take that fight serious at all. He probably barely trained for that fight. He probably thought he could go in there and just be Berlanga, talk his shit, and just intimidate the guy. But I guess not.
Hell no.
Dude said, "No, I'm gonna beat your ass, and I'm gonna make sure this is gonna be an upset. I'm not even gonna give it up to the cards."
Yeah, he did him dirty, man. He did him
Wow.
dirty.
That's the one that sticks out for me. That's the one that stuck out for me all year.
Okay.
All
I can
year.
see that. It just stuck out for me because I just felt like Hamzat, he had a good chance of beating Berlanga. I just never was sold on Berlanga. All the trash talking he was doing, and he had the Puerto Rican crowd behind him. He had the Puerto Rican crowd behind him and everything.
Right.
But I'm just saying to myself, huh?
The New Yorkers.
Yeah, he had the New Yorkers.
Yeah.
And everybody behind him going on a freaking motorcycle, damn motorcade when he got second to Canelo. It was only a matter of time he get blasted. He did.
Yeah, I was never really a fan of Berlinga's, but like I said, I didn't know the guy, so I'm thinking, all right, this might be a little tune-up fight for Berlanga. You know what I mean? Get him out of here for, I guess he's got another fight coming up, usually a bigger name, but that wasn't in the plans anymore. To me, a semi upset that should have been an upset was Lamont Roach and Tank, because I felt Lamont won that fight in my opinion. So
what you mean? If Steve Willis would have gave the count?
Not a count. I think he still beat him 7-5, even without the knockdown, in my opinion. I thought Lamont did enough to win, in my opinion. I get the names and the politics again of the game. So
yeah, I just think you gotta take the belt from the champion.
I feel you. But he was already behind the 8-ball with him anyway, so he would have had to really double that performance from what he had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he really had to knock him down for real.
Tank told him, "Hey, no matter what you do, they ain't giving it to you."
He did. He definitely did tell him.
He told him that. Stop trying. I'm winning this fight tonight, regardless.
Yo, and I'm gonna tell him I have fucking the braid gel in my hair,
grease in my hair,
grease in my hair, and I'm gonna tell him I got grease in my hair.
Hey,
that was one of the funniest parts.
Tank took a knee and stuck his head outside the ropes and didn't get no deduction, dog.
Bruh. And at the end, when he did the interview, he's like, "Damn, y'all used to fuck with me before."
Right.
But
yeah,
hey,
they lied, dog.
We'll see what happens. But I'm about to get up out of here, WCS.
No doubt.
About to watch this football game, man. Always a good conversation with you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for always dropping by, man. You know what I'm saying? One of the hottest chat in the game, members. Appreciate you, man. Salute, one love, bro.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Big shout out to the hottest chat in the MFN game, man. I know it's Sunday. People watching sports. Just wanted to come on here and do a live and chop it up a little bit about boxing. Until next time, man, you already know what we do. Peace. I'm out.